Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network. It's Friday. Happy Friday to all. And that means it's Friends of Best Ball. I am, of course, joined by Cody from Off the Schneid. This is our first time drafting together. We're going to draft a BBM6 in just 1 minute. That's right. Happy Friday to all once again. Took a week off last week, was at the U.S. Open visiting family, but back to Friends of Basketball. And I am, of course, joined by Cody Off the Schneid. Cody, I love watching your streams. This is our first stream together. How are you doing on this Friday evening?
I'm doing well. The weather is awful where I live right now. It's about 12 degrees. My temperature, so probably like low 60s for you, something like
okay.
that. High 50s, low 60s, and rainy.
So okay, so I was gonna say you got some rainy weather there then.
Yeah, but it's good. We need the rain. We always need the rain up here. So I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Excited to draft with you, that's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. No, first of many. Hopefully, I'm very excited to draft with you. We have Tim noticing the Bengals in the back. Always good to see Tim. The Bengals year. He's saying Bengals year. Burrow breaks some passing records. Yeah, I mean, I love Burrow stacks. So if we can get one tonight, that would be great. Of course, my brother Steve is in chat. But I will fire up. Actually, I'll bring it over and I will fire up a 30-second BBM if you want to join us. We'll try that first. Sometimes those take a while. If it looks like it's going super slow, we can always pivot. But if anybody would like to join us for a 30-second BBM, I will count it down in a minute, and then that'll give me a chance while we're waiting, if we are waiting, to chat with Cody about some of his favorite players right now, his favorite strategies. But if anybody wants to join us, 30-second BBM6 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, entering. And we won't have long to talk. We have one more to start. So I will bring it over. I was just talking to Cody about, you'll see some of the slow drafts I got going. Oh, I'm up on a few. So he was saying not a slow draft fan. I was talking about how Steve's only loves the slow draft streets. I've gotten more into the slow draft. So how many slows do you typically do at a given time? Like, what's the max you can handle? Like
as little as humanly possible. I hate slow drafting. You're way worse off than me. I have probably, 12 or so right now. It was mostly those German Shepherds.
Okay, right.
You
had to get them in.
Yeah. It looks like we're cross streaming with JT, so that'll be good.
Oh, did we get in JT's? Okay.
Looks like it. Yeah, we got Hartman in here. We got Tannen.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Ray Zanny was in. Yeah. Okay. I did. It's so funny. I was just on his stream. You're going to be on in 2 hours with JT. He has got a full party going, and then we get a cross stream draft. That's hysterical.
Yeah, these can be interesting, and then especially if if one of the teams goes to even just the finals, it'd be a fun kind of exercise to go back and watch again.
Yeah,
with a lot of streamers in here, but again, it'd be fun to watch both streams.
Yeah,
and see kind of, because I think Sean Mitchell's on with him right now.
Yeah, Sean's with him right now. Yep, exactly.
So that could be really fun. Hopefully,
Cody, hopefully it's Cody and Meg and Sean and JT. Though we got Hartman in this room. Anybody else? I don't think I recognize anybody. Or no, you said no. Razor and Biff Tannen. Yeah, okay, there are.
Yeah, those two. I think that's about it. But these BBM rooms have been kind of wild lately. Even the room that you guys were in just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was wild. I mean, that would be pretty nice to be in a room like that. It's pretty rare you can get the neighbors Genty start. I'm not the biggest Genty guy, but,
right?
Start like that. That's easy click. Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely wild that we got that start. That shocked me. Actually, I've never seen Genty fall that far in, obviously this time of year, pre-draft maybe, but yeah, that was wild stuff. So we're at the back half here, or we're at the turn. What do you like to do at the turn? I actually kind of like the back half, like that 10 through 12 area. There's just kind of so much you can do with it. Where is your favorite spot to draft on the board currently? And then what do you like to do at the turn?
I'm pretty honestly, there's things you can do at any spot right now, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
And it hasn't always been like that when drafting best ball or in just draft season, right? It's usually been like, oh, I want picks 1 through 3 or,
Right.
7 through 10 or something like that. But this year is literally any pick. There's things you can do with every pick. I kind of like and want some exposure to all the first round picks. At least guys that I deem as first round picks. So Nico Collins isn't exactly that guy for me personally, but I get it. So I do want exposure to a little bit of everybody. I like 1 through 3. And then, the back end is fun. Like the first 3 picks are pretty cut and dry for me personally.
Sure.
And then the back half is fine because you can do whatever you want. So I do like that. There's no pulling guys up. There's no reaching as long as you're not like 2 rounds. But you can.
So we can't do neighbors Genty, but there's still a lot of good players here. Okay, so Amon-Ra St. Brown goes Genty, Brian Thomas Jr., Derrick Henry, Drake London. Where do you want to go here, Cody? This is your draft.
It's always Drake London for me.
Okay.
So that's one for sure.
Okay,
what do you like to do? We could go RB, or sorry, wide receiver, or get a little bit balanced. I don't have enough of my exposure of Derrick Henry, but I see you have a lot, so that's fine.
And I obviously, I mean, again, it's really, do you want to go, wide receiver, or wide receiver, running back? If it's wide receiver, running back, I'm fine, honestly, with either. But I know you said like you don't do as much Genty, so I would say Henry or BTJ. Which way do you want to go with this?
Let's do Brian Thomas. Let's see what happens here.
Actually, I only have not even 7%. So there we go. I think I'm through. I'd have to go back and count. I want to say I'm through like 35, 40 total drafts because I do have a lot of slows going. Maybe it's more than that. I just extracted the exposures, best ball overlay, of course. Use code Fanspeak for 25% off. Helps us manage our exposures, see our team correlations, our playoff bringbacks, all the good things. I'm still laughing that we've got the cross stream going here. That is really funny. But hello. Let me quick say hello to the folks in chat. Well, Steve making fun of my rookie numbers in the slow draft streets. Tim, we got Fantasy Dog, who was in our other draft with us, Best Ball on Call. I just watched part of his stream tonight. Kelly, good to see Kelly. Good to see Ant. What's up, you guys? I reached for London. So I need more Drake London. So that was good. I like that start, little wide receiver start at the turn. So well, Cody, I love your streams because you unapologetically like have your stands, and that's my favorite part. I think Steve and I do that a lot too. And again, I know you kind of say like you're not always right, but you're way more right than you're wrong, and we say that a lot too. So outside of Kyle Williams, what is like your biggest stand? Which, by the way, that was like the most amazing call pre-draft. What has been like a big stand here in the early draft season? Any or multiple that you'd want to speak to?
I mean, like call it the first couple rounds. Like right now, Drake London he's a first round pick for me. I'll take him at 10. I'll take him at 10, 11, 12, whatever. I want as much Drake London as I can possibly get. So I want to be minimum 20% Drake London. And that's an absolute minimum. So Drake London, super high for me. And then I just kind of redid my rankings today. And last year, I said to myself essentially, and on stream, I said it to my viewers. My show wasn't as popular last year, but I was saying Derrick Henry in the 3rd round, I'm taking him every single time. I don't care if Derrick Henry's in the 3rd round, I'm taking him. I don't care what my build looks like. I don't care what anyone else on my team. I don't care about bye weeks. I don't care about anything. Derrick Henry's a 3rd round pick. I'm taking him. So I said the same thing about Josh Allen in the 4th round, but this year. I think I kind of alluded to it on my last episode on Wednesday, and it's Tyreek this year. If Tyreek's there in the 3rd round, I'm going to take him every time now. I just settled on it. Like I'm going to take Tyreek Hill every single time if he's available in the 3rd round. Okay. So that's my hard stands through the first kind of 3 rounds.
Okay. I like it.
And again, and like bleeding into this season, into the best ball season, the summer hot best ball summer draft season, not pre-draft, but bleeding in from the pre-draft is the Ashton Genty kind of, and others seem to be getting on board with my original take. That
17 in the last draft I was in. Yeah,
I'm very confident that I was probably the first one on that fade. of Ashton Genty at cost. And then same thing with Brock Bowers. I think people are starting to catch on. He's down to 21 in this draft. His ADP is falling, which it should be. And same thing with Genty. So I think those are two things that people are starting to catch up on a little bit. It just doesn't make sense if they're both there. If they're both in the same offense, we're both expecting them to be top 3 at their position.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. I did the numbers, and it's literally happened, I think, twice in the last 10 years. And both times it was the 49ers with Kittle and Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
And is Ashton Genty Christian McCaffrey? I certainly don't think so. Is Brock Bowers George Kittle? Probably, at least like right there with him. But a top 3 tight end is not that different. You can find a top 3 tight end in the 8th, 10th, 12th, 14th round in best ball drafts. We just, we have no idea exactly who that's going to be, but it happens all the time. So, it just didn't make sense to me, and it still doesn't. And my exposure is kind of bleeding into this draft season. So those are kind of my big stands in the first 3 rounds, kind of right now what we're looking at. But
yeah, I like it. And I like that. I like the big stands. I like we're none of us, no best ball analyst is always right, but we believe we're way more right than we're wrong. And again, we aren't going to agree on everything, but no, I like those big stands. I'm definitely, I'm going to have to force myself to take some whatever 4% of Brock Bowers, Trey McBride. I just always love the mid to late round tight ends. Kittle is the one that I will pay, 4th, 5th round value for. Okay. We were back on the clock here. We've got the elite quarterbacks. Now these are my rankings on ADP. Elite quarterbacks: Mike Evans, Tet, Xavier Worthy, DJ Moore, a lot of receivers. Where do you want to go here?
I think it's pretty easy. We might as well just take Josh Allen with the falling value.
Yeah.
We'll just set it and forget it. And we can be done at 2 quarterbacks with the build like this. I really don't think it's prudent to pick 3 quarterbacks unless you wait till the very, very end of drafts. And then we have Drake London.
And then so we start 1-0-2 again.
Our wide receivers, just so I can see on our team. Yeah.
So sorry. On 5-8 are our buys of London and Brian Thomas Jr.
I mean, it's probably DJ Moore for me here. Just click everybody, click wide receiver again, so we can see everybody. Yeah, it's probably DJ Moore for me here personally.
Yeah, there was a big run on running backs in this room. So they let the room give us Josh Allen, and we start Drake London, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore. Obviously opens up a couple other stacks that we want later. That works for me. And I do think at the turn here, the receivers and the elite quarterbacks do feel like the best value in that 3-4 at this 3-4 turn. So I really don't like the wide receivers at the end at the 3-4 turn right there. It's a big jumbled mess of question marks. Realistically, Mike Evans, obviously age question marks there, injury question marks, Devontae Smith rushing offense, number 2 in a rushing offense, number 2 receiver question mark there. DJ Moore, obviously that's where I think is the least amount of question marks is with DJ Moore, plus the target volume that he's gotten throughout his career. It just seems like it's the most. And then Tet's there, Jameson Williams, sure. There's all kinds of question marks at the bottom. At the 3-4 turn at wide receiver here. So if one of those running backs don't fall to us, I probably would have said James Cook with Josh Allen, Breece Hall for sure. But, and then there was a run on those. Sometimes you will have somebody there fall and run on running backs, and it was really the elite quarterbacks and then this patch of receivers there. So I like this start. Where are you? One player that I can't remember where you stand on, and I know I'm pretty bullish on him. He hasn't gone yet, but he won't come back to us. Where are you on Travis Hunter? I can't remember.
I mean, I was pretty bullish pre-draft. I don't love. I would rather he were on Cleveland. If he were on Cleveland, I'd be more bullish, to be honest with you. But now that he's on Jacksonville, I'm a little less bullish. I think that his where he finished off ADP wise in the big board was high 60s, low 70s, something like that. A 6-7 turn kind of a pick roughly. That's where I think he probably should be going. The thing is it's going to be a hindsight regardless, and we don't know. So,
Yeah.
if you have strong conviction, then stick to your guns and pick a
Yeah.
lot of Travis Hunter. But I still think that he needs to fall behind some of the other guys going around him, like Zay Flowers right there, Worthy, right? Pickens, DK Metcalf has been sliding up the board, which he should be. I like DK above some of those jumbled mess wide receivers back there that we are just talking about. But I mean, you can get him. You can certainly get him. He's falling right now. I don't know what to make of him, but I actually shout out to JT Bestball because he was talking about this with me on his stream about the Jacksonville wide receivers versus Trevor Lawrence. And one of those prices are wrong. No questions asked. 100%. One of those prices are wrong, either the wide receivers or Trevor Lawrence. And I think it's the wide receivers, and that includes Brian Thomas Jr. So I do kind of think that BTJ goes a little bit higher maybe than he should. Realistically, it's fine. Like that doesn't really matter for BTJ. It's the back end of the 1-2. It's all fluid around there anyways.
Right.
But I do think Travis Hunter goes a little bit too high. Again, it depends on what his snapshot on defense is going to be, but the GM speak that just came out. And the weird thing about the Jags right now is there's a lot of GM speak, not a lot of coach speak, which is interesting.
No, that is really interesting. I am pretty bullish on Travis Hunter. I think he moves the way he moves. It just reminds me of Justin Jefferson. I think as Steve ranked him, even above Tet. So I understand he's the number 2 in the offense. I'm bullish on the offense. But, like you said, you kind of got to go with your convictions and let it all play out. But I did want to see how you felt about him. Where did he go in this one? He ended up going
just a few picks back, 52.
Yeah, 52. Yeah. So yeah, went a little bit of the rest of the elite quarterbacks and then more of a run on receivers, Kittle, which leaves us with a ton of running backs here. So where do you want to go here? On ADP, it's Chuba, Mixon, Kamara, Harvey, Kenneth Walker did just go. Where do you
Kenny Walker and Odunze are kind of my guys, but I think Chuba, we get some value there. That's a great floor play.
Yeah.
So Chuba makes a lot of sense.
I'll just let it tick down so we can talk through our next one too. But Walker, you saw that JT and I got him, and I love Kenneth Walker. So I was bummed. I thought, it looks like he might fall all the way to us. Didn't quite make it there. Did you want to go second running back? Did you want to go back to the receiver? Well, Kittle did go, that's somebody I target in this range, but he did go. So we start 1-1-3. There are more running backs on the board. Where do you want to go with this second pick?
I'm all right going running back again, or we can go Jerry Jeudy. It would be for me, probably Trevion Henderson. I hate Joe Mixon. I don't like Joe Mixon at all.
No, I need some more. I only have 6% Henderson, and I think he's he was one of the rookies I was massively in on. Was kind of hoping he was going to get that like Bears or, obviously some monster landing spot. But I had a ton of him in pre-draft and I haven't taken enough of him post-draft. So no, I like that. I like that click. And then it's kind of balanced it out a little bit. Start 1, 2, 3. So I like that. Let me say hi to some of the folks in the chat. First, I missed our guy Tyler earlier, of course, Emo Cowboy. And then Mixon or Thad in chat saying no Mixon, no money. He also gave me a hard time that less than 8% Bowers is how bankruptcy happens. That is what I might be looking at, because I'll probably just have 4% of the really top tight ends in Bowers and McBride. Breaking, I'm not sure what combo he was talking about breaking my heart, but we got Hartman in here who is in this draft. Steve says hopefully you can talk me into. I hate like trying to pick like the Bills receivers, so
we'll see when we get there. We'll have a combo probably.
Yeah, we'll talk about it then. But always good to see our guy Stephen WC. Good evening, Megan, Cody. We appreciate you. So yeah, the Bills receivers, they're just so frustrating fantasy wise. Josh Allen, it feels like Josh Allen, James Cook, like you talked about, is the fun way to play it. But I understand they're going so cheap, and the game we're playing, we're looking for just spike weeks. It's just, it was Pat that mentioned Shakir just lacks, the spike week. So who do you like to stack with Allen, or is it just what falls to you naturally?
I mean, it kind of is what falls to me. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to take a little bit of all of them, including Shakir. I don't love Shakir either, but he's a great floor play.
Yeah.
And if I'm stacking Josh Allen, I want all of those pieces. I just think, well, I know that Josh Allen had one of his worst passing yards wise
Right.
season last year. So realistically, we should expect at least 500 to 600 more passing yards out of Josh Allen. I mean, maybe this is the new normal, like Patrick Mahomes potentially. I don't tend to think that way. I think that he can definitely get back to where he was with some more explosive players. They added Josh Palmer. They added Elijah Moore. Those are two guys that I'm taking because those are the spike week guys, in my opinion. I think Josh Palmer, like I just see what I see is what's been missing out of that offense, and what I see and what's missing out of that offense is the Stephon Diggs deep ball. Not necessarily like everything else Stephon Diggs does. They can fill that in with Kincaid, Shakir, and some of the guys that they just added. You can fill that role in. It's the deep ball that they're missing, that they have been missing. Even when Josh or Gabe Davis was there, who just isn't very good at catching footballs. Like they've missed it since Stephon Diggs, and now they have both Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore that I think can both fill that role and both fill that spike week role. So those are the two guys that I'm probably going to be the highest exposure wise on. I just think they offer the most upside in that deep ball that I think that offense has been missing for the last, since they got rid of Diggs.
All right, that says Elijah Moore is what they were missing. Also, hello to Hulk Mashed Potatoes. Hello to DJ Quill. Happy Friday to you as well. Love seeing my guy Chad Candles, who is my neighbor in Baltimore. Need to get together for a little best ball happy hour here. But Steve and I take an upsetting amount of Palmer now. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my highest exposed wide receivers right now. I'm going to even that out with some Elijah Moore, but I just think like with Elijah Moore, he's another guy like I mentioned on my stream that he's not quite to where I was with Kyle Williams when he was a 20th round pick in the big board, and I was like, I'm taking this guy every single draft, and I did, and I still do. But either way, like Elijah Moore is someone that I'm clicking a lot of right now. I think he can skyrocket up ADP wise with some good camp buzz.
Reports,
and like he's always been a good receiver. I think we all know that. It's just he's literally never had a good situation ever.
Right.
He came out the gates as a rookie with the Jets and showed out pretty well. And then, the Jets jetted and that all happened for a couple of years. Then he goes to what? The Cleveland Browns. Like, is that any better of a situation? I don't think so. Yeah. And he got back to where he was at least as kind of a rookie. So we saw that potential is still there. Then he moves to the best situation he's ever had in his entire life with the best quarterback he's ever had in his entire life. And now we don't want anything to do with him. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So if it comes down to it at the end, we'll probably be taking some Elijah Moore, but we'll see. We'll see if we get sniped.
Yeah, no, like you said, I mean, and that would be fun, the Elijah Moore click, especially in these time box tournaments, because I bet in the time box tournaments right now, pre-camp buzz, he's going to be so low owned over the course of BBM. I mean, he'll still be obviously lower owned and stuff, but no, that is a fun like 18th round click. It
also allows you to get those more sure things at the start of the draft. So you're still getting a piece of this high powered offense that we're after when we draft Josh Allen.
Right.
But then we can fill out our roster with these high caliber players. And then if Josh Palmer, if Elijah Moore, if they hit, then our wide receiver room is even that much more dangerous. Because we have, again, like Drake London, we've got Brian Thomas Jr., right? We have these high floor, high caliber, number one wide receivers in their offense. And then we get those pieces kind of late that should have that spike week, value that we're looking for. So,
right. We are about to be back up 84-85 on the clock now. Per ADP, it is Shakir is there, Diggs, Aaron Jones, Darnell Mooney, Josh Downs, a favorite of mine, TJ Hawkinson. Where do you want to go here with the first of our two picks?
Either Mooney or Downs for sure.
Yeah, I like Mooney.
Shakir is not necessarily someone we have to have. Mind you, we could. Scroll down to our wide receivers.
Oh, yeah. So our wide receivers, London, 5, BTJ. I put Mooney because I think we both want Mooney. So now we have a new 30 seconds here. So we have the double stack working with London, Mooney. Brian Thomas Jr., and DJ Moore.
I
Did you
think
want to go Downs, or did you want to go a different direction?
I think we go Downs. I think we go Downs over Shakir. Like we just talked about, we can get those other pieces if we want or need it. We don't need Shakir, and give me Downs over Shakir in a vacuum.
Yep.
Plus, we're now going to have to watch our bye weeks in the wide receiver room. Like,
right.
We pretty much can't take another week 5 bye in our wide receiver room, which is fine.
Right.
So I like getting that other option in there that it obviously isn't a bye week 5. So yeah, hopefully we get hopefully we get a little more 2 wide receiver stuff out of Josh Downs, or the Colts just move to more 11 personnel.
Right.
That's kind of the hope when we're drafting Josh Downs, but everybody seems to like him right now, which is fair.
Yeah.
But I do see the bear case on Josh Downs. It's just he's not on the field for all that much, but that defense sucks for the Colts. They do not have a good defense, so that like kind of gives me some hopium that they are an 11 personnel a little bit more, and hopefully Tyler Warren opens that up as well, being able to do a little bit more than some of those other tight ends. Like he can do everything that you kind of need.
I'm pretty bullish on Tyler Warren. I'm pretty bullish on Daniel Jones will be the starter. Are you taking any Daniel Jones? Do you believe he'll be the starter?
I do believe he'll be the starter. Yes. I haven't taken him like at all in Best Ball Mania, because I am just very, very firm about being done drafting quarterbacks by round like 12, maybe 13, maybe 14 tops. I personally think the way I'm building my strategy for BBM is quarterbacks are going to be extremely important this year, in my opinion.
Right.
And that rounds 8 through 12 range of quarterbacks is just so fucking deep.
Love the rounds 8 through 12. Yeah. They're just absolutely loaded. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's really difficult not to take all your quarterbacks there. Or at least be done. Like with Josh Allen, there's a few options that we can go with, and we're not taking a third, not likely, unless we wait till the Daniel Jones, kind of range of quarterback, which is fine as well. You can do that, but then you're much more likely to take a third quarterback. So sorry, what was your question again?
Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones, you thinking that you believe he's going to start, but you're not taking a ton of them, basically? Yeah,
I do need to. The bigger problem I have with Daniel Jones is I'm taking a lot of running backs too. Like I'm taking a lot of Jonathan Taylor, and DJ Giddens is one of my most owned players, period, in this season, the draft cycle. So I'm not particularly taking the running backs with the quarterback.
Right.
At all for the most part, but definitely not particularly with the Colts.
Yeah.
But I would like to get some Daniel Jones in my life. I am in other tournaments. I kind of separate Best Ball Mania from all the other tournaments.
Sure. No, it's a different beast for sure. Absolutely.
Well, you're more willing to do weird things with a $5 bill or a $3 bill, right? You're more willing to do some crazy stuff and get out of line and whatever. But with Best Ball Mania, you have 150 entries. It's $25. It's an important draft, and it's even more expensive for me. Like that's, add like 35% on that $25.
That's right, our favorite Canadian. That's right. Exactly.
So it's really expensive for me to play those tournaments. So I like to just be very intentional with my Best Ball Mania drafting.
Yeah.
So I also don't love to do it on stream, if I'm being honest. I do some, but I don't love to do it on stream and just give away that EV and, get sniped by people sometimes and whatever.
Yeah, that's why Steve and I on Sibling Showdown do a lot of other. I really like the sprint. I like the marathon. We'll do some eliminators. He loves the Superflex, which he's gotten me into the Superflex more. So we're really trying to mix it up on there, and that's why I save friends at Best Ball to be, invite a friend on. Let's draft a BBM together. Speaking of Steve, he said no. I do have a little Roman Wilson problem. He is a week 5 bye, so he says no Roman Wilson. And then Cooler says, how happy are you that Steve is in the chat and not on the stream to make you pick Tyler Lockett? Very happy, though Steve said he will try to mention him. Chad Candles mentioned a good thing. Jags Colts week 17 is an underrated game, which we just have the access to now with the BTJ. So we're coming up here at 108, 109. Starting 1, 2, 5. There is, like, if you wanted to, like you said, be done at quarterback, there is obviously, but then we have the double stack with Mooney, London. There is Caleb coming up. Then you have Trey Harris. Then where's my guy? Did my guy Scatteroo go? But we have top of the board. We have based on ADP is Nix, Purdy, Harris, ETN, Andrews, Ingram, Shaheed, Caleb. Where are you looking to go in this range?
Who's our first running back again? Chuba. That's right. So
week 14 buys, so no more week 14 running back buys, but we'll be okay.
I don't mind getting Mark Andrews here.
Okay, I'll cue him.
Just gets us started at tight end.
Yeah, that works.
It's just an easy click, good high floor. We can take some shots later, and I got a guy in mind already.
Okay.
And then for me here, it'd be Najee, actually.
I like it. I like Najee. I know I've been taking a bunch of slow drafts. So while it says nothing, I've been taking ETN and Najee and a bunch of slows. So I'm catching up.
I just think we need that floor. It would have been Tracy. I would have talked you into diversifying the Giants running backs there, but actually week 14, we wouldn't have been able to take Tracy anyway.
Right.
So
we couldn't have taken Tracy or Scatteroo. So yeah. So we start 1-3-5-1, which is a very comfortable start for me. I like to kind of balance it out there in the first 10 rounds. So Allen, Hubbard, Henderson, Najee, Drake London, BTJ, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Josh Downs, Mark Andrews. We already have, like Chad Candle said, that Colts, Jags, week 17 going. Yeah, I like that start so far. My guy Cam went, don't know Josie 22, but went to pick 100 there. Just had to see where he went.
Who's Scatteroo? Oh yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, week 14, we had to stay away from that. No Giants running backs on this team because we already had 2 to start.
Yeah, I am starting to come around to a little more Tyrone Tracy.
Okay.
I want to even it out. I have more Scatteroo for sure.
Okay.
But he's been rising, which I don't love paying, a premium price. That's not necessarily premium, but I don't like paying the higher price tag that he goes ahead of Najee, ahead of Ramondre, comfortably ahead of Tyrone Tracy, though Tyrone Tracy's kind of catching up. But I do want to just be kind of even on the two. There's way more explosion for Tyrone Tracy than there is for Cam Scatteroo. He is not going to run away from anyone in the NFL. He can definitely be a goal line guy. He can definitely be, he essentially, I've been saying it the entire draft season. He's basically Najee. He's basically the exact carbon copy of Najee. So he can catch the ball the same way. He can do all of the same things that Najee Harris can do, just in a much kind of worse offense and situation than Najee's in. With
I do think he's a better pass catcher than Najee. I can't remember how Najee was, but as Steve has pointed out, that I think Scatteroo has a lot of ways to win, whether he can get involved. Though Tracy obviously converted receiver. But I do think that goal line guy, I'm hoping, obviously, as someone who's drafting a lot of Scatteroo, it is getting a lot of that goal line work.
Yeah, that's the goal, because I really don't I like Scatteroo, don't get me wrong, and he is dynamic and he can do a lot of different things, but I don't think he's going to be able to get away with all that stuff in the NFL. Like the conference that he played in college and the competition he played against in college, I think led to being able to get away with a lot more than he's going to be able to get away with in the NFL, where it's bigger, stronger, faster. So yeah, he can do it, but is it going to work to the same degree over a guy like Tyrone Tracy, who just has that much more, I'm trying to think of the plural world for dynamic, but he's just much more dynamic in all facets of the game, including the passing game, being a former wide receiver. So I think we need to look at Scatteroo more like a goal line back, which is fine. We're pulling up Jordan Mason as a goal line back, Najee, even there's all kinds of guys that we're doing that with, which is fine
in this exact range. That's what I'm betting on. And I hope I'm right there.
The price is completely fine. I'm not saying anything about the price or drafting Cam Scatteroo, because I'm doing it too. I just think the bull case about him as a pass catcher, I kind of push back on, because Tyrone Tracy's there, and he just doesn't have the juice to get away with that stuff in the NFL. But that doesn't necessarily take away from his value for me. So
right. So you, when it's all said and done, do you think you'll be about even on both the Giants running backs?
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to be at least close. We'll see what their prices do because they've been shifting a little bit. Like I said, Cam Scadaboo's been rising, and then Tracy's been catching up.
Steve
So
says he's going to get his 8% there. So there you go.
yeah. I
And I
like the
do.
playoff schedule too for both. Like for the Giants period, I like the playoff schedule, so it's nice to get pieces. Um,
Right.
but like if you're taking the Washington or something like that side or the Vegas side, like who would you rather, Cam Scadaboo or Tyrone Tracy? I
Okay.
would
So
take Tyrone
we
Tracy. But
are back up. There is Lawrence there if you wanted to go Lawrence, and then Loveland, JJ McCarthy, Hollywood Brown, a lot of tight ends, Ray Davis, which correlates. Where did you want to go with this first pick?
I think we have to pull up Penix regardless
Okay. Let's just
because we're not going to get him back to us.
no, we
If
got the
we want to
double stack
lock that
going.
in,
So I'll just lock
yeah.
that in.
So
And
we can do
then
that.
let me pull it up by ADP too. So by ADP, Loveland,
Okay,
Njoku,
yes.
Spears, Hollywood Brown, Ray Davis. Where are you on Ray Davis? Do you like Ray Davis?
I don't mind Ray Davis, but I mean, I would pair James Cook
Yeah.
with Josh Allen if I really wanted to go down that road. I think it would be Spears here. I think he's pretty criminally underrated around this range.
Yeah, and I don't have much of him, so it's just I probably taken my fourth somewhere. I don't know why. I honestly, I take a lot of Pollard too, so
I do
I
too,
want to
yeah.
I want to mix that in. So no, I like that. So we start 2-4-5-1 now. Allen, Penix have the double stack with Penix, Chuba, Henderson, Najee, Spears, Drake London, BTJ, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Josh Downs, Mark Andrews. I like the balance there. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I like it a lot. This is very typical of what I like to do, how I like to build. Especially like if it's one or the other. Like if I start running back, then I like to go 2 running backs, just kind of piss yellow for 6 rounds or something like that, catch up at wide receiver, or like the opposite, like we're doing here, we go 3 straight wide receivers. Now we catch up at at running back, mix in a tight end, and then we can keep that kind of like you just said, the balanced nature of the build. And now like the door is wide open for a lot of different things. Like we don't actually usually I like to say by round 10 or 12, you know what your build's going to be 100%. And we actually don't. Like we're going to be
We have
done
options. Yeah. No, we definitely
done a quarterback, that's for sure.
Right.
But other than that, we could take 6 running backs. We could probably still get away with 5, maybe. Probably not. We'll probably be 6 running backs, but wide receivers, we could get away with 2 tight ends, possibly with
with Mark Andrews,
stuff,
depending how long
right?
we wait. No, I think there's a lot of optionality there. Let me go to the chat really quick. Couple questions. What did you think about, and good to see you, Football and Espanol, about Pacheco's new ADP? I did move him up in my rankings. I was really bullish on him last year. Obviously didn't work injury wise. Where are you on Pacheco? I did move him up, maybe not to his ADP, but I moved him up.
I mean, I'm not taking a lot of them in this post draft because he goes in a weird range that I'm not taking a lot of running backs in that. Not that I wouldn't. I like Pacheco as a player. He's fine. But what I think he might be getting at is he was going like I was being the Huckleberry in the big board of taking Pacheco at pick 120.
Right.
I got up to like at one point I was like almost 50% Isaiah Pacheco because I was like, all right, it's pick 114. I'll take Pacheco. Pick 121. Okay, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll take Pacheco here.
Yeah.
And I just was stacking up shares of Pacheco because it was like, all right, if no one likes this guy, I'll take him. And now, we're seeing where he's going now. So clearly that was, worth for me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And then this is probably me trying to bully you. Would you like to get some Daniel Jones? Or you said you would like to get some Daniel Jones in your life.
A little bit. Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen this draft. Maybe not. Like you said, we have a lot of options. Cooler says a lot of players seem to be going much earlier than usual. It looks like a Besh 99 side, and he's been falling. I just moved him down in my ranking. So that's interesting. Like you said, these BBM rooms, I haven't been in a lot because like I said, and you said, I really save them for these kind of streams. We'll do a handful with Steve on Sibling Showdown and then just leave a handful for myself because I like to do a lot of the other sprint, marathon, those type of contests, as well as I really like making sure I'm in on all the great advanced rate contests. Just, did my Greyhound, did my Golden, got in the pugs, the German Shepherds, all the dog breeds, basically. Then we had the Tracy conversation, Tracy Scatabo, Stephen Hines, good to see you. Good day, OTS and Meg, TGIF. Appreciate hit the subscribe. If you are watching and haven't hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We appreciate it. Road to 1,000. When we do, we will do a 24-hour live stream. So what am I missing about Lawrence and Cohen? Easily my most roster QB. I do like the Liam Cohen offense. I am in on Lawrence and the stacks. Like you said, one of the prices is wrong. So to your point and to his point, why is Lawrence going so much later? So I think that's right. You're either in on it, out on it. Are you taking many of I'm kind of crippled and paralyzed by the Jacksonville running back situation. How are you handling that? Because I always like to bounce off sharp people in the industry, how they're handling it, especially at this point in the year. I might need to make some pivots.
Well, last year I was 0% ETN. I did not like the price at all. I thought it was horribly mispriced. So I didn't click it a single time, and that worked out pretty nice. And I think like my biggest concern has always been with ETN. Like he stayed in college 1 year too long. That's for sure. Too many touches, Achilles. Actually, it wasn't an Achilles. It was actually a Lisfranc fracture in his foot, which is borderline worse at times. So I mean, with the running backs, I've always like Bashal Tutin was my first love in pre-draft best ball season. So I really like Bashal Tutin as a player. And I think he brings something that no one else has on that team, including ETN. Obviously, I think Bigsby showed out enough last year that he deserves to get some run.
To your point, I was looking a lot of Bigsby last year, and that worked out well for me because I was
me too.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's something you have to do too. Like if you're off one, then you kind of have to be on the other.
I know, and that's why I haven't taken much of any yet. I've sprinkled a little ETN and Tutin. Haven't taken much. Bigsby is here. We are on the clock. Josh Palmer is there. Bigsby, Eckler, Kyle Pitts correlate. We already have the double stack. Stafford, McMillan, Roshan. Where are you thinking here?
It's definitely Palmer. Make it easy.
Yeah,
that works. A little bit of falling value.
Talk it through, cue it up, and talk it through. Where else do you like to go with the second pick at pick 157?
What do the tight ends look like?
Sure. Yeah. So Pitts, obviously, and then the range I love, honestly, Freiermuth, Strange, Henry, Gesicki, Ertz. This whole range. I love this range of tight ends.
I mean, you got a lot, but I think Freiermuth makes a lot of sense.
I love Freiermuth. I talked about I drafted on JT. Yeah. We drafted on JT's show. A lot of Freiermuth think he'll be the second target in that offense. I also have a Roman Wilson problem. So I obviously am maybe a little too bullish on the passing game. I just wrote an article about Rodgers as well. I don't think he's going as quarterback 28. I don't think he's going to be quarterback 28. And I know we're playing the spike week game in this format, not marathon. So, but I still think you're getting some value there in all formats. But yeah, I do like Freiermuth. So I like that click as a second. And again, gives us options. If we wanted to stop at two tight ends, I'd feel comfortable. Would you?
Yeah, potentially. There's a guy I have in mind for this build that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I think all of the Steelers are, and look behind me, I absolutely despise the Steelers.
Right, exactly.
I absolutely despise everything about black and yellow. But all of the Steelers players are underrated right now, or underpriced, I should say. Like Freiermuth's getting there, he's moving up, but he's gonna flip Pitts, which he should. He should be ahead of Likely, no question. He should probably flip Dalton Kincaid. So there's a ton of value in Pat Freiermuth for me. Even DK Metcalf's going a little bit lower than he should. And like you said, Aaron Rodgers, like look at the numbers last year. Yeah. What's the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes? Mm-hmm. Besides 100 picks of ADP. Yeah. What's the difference?
Exactly.
A lot of nothing. Yeah,
exactly.
Like obviously the receiving options are different than they were with the Jets last year for the Steelers. And I don't know if Rodgers will put up those kind of numbers again with the discounted weapons, in the offense.
Right.
But still, like, look at as far as the numbers are concerned last year, like alluding to basically what I'm getting at is what you were alluding to and talking about is he's not that low What is he? What did you say? Quarterback 28 or 25 right now?
He's currently going as quarterback 28. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's tons of value there with Aaron Rodgers. Everyone just hates him.
Everybody hates him as
personal
the
reasons,
guy, or
typically.
thinks he's cooked. He wasn't cooked. I mean, like based on he finished, I think, QB 15 for the season. I want to say points per game. It was more like QB 19. But again, I still think maybe we get one more fun Rodgers year. Again, definitely outperforming where we're drafting him. So yeah, I think it's definitely is a value there. So getting to the chat really quick, Cooler says, I think Najee is very competent pass catcher as well, suffers from lack of explosiveness like Scatabo. Yeah, that's basically, you were mentioning that. Mike Robb joking that I'm going to shut down the stream if you talk about Tracy. I will not shut down the stream, I promise. Mike Robb always loves to give us a hard time. Steve is talking with others here. It looks like he's talking about, there was some ETN talk as well here. So yeah, I probably need to draft more. Like you said, like if I'm not drafting one, you got to be in on probably somebody. And I do need to kind of pick a lane with the Jaguars running back and get a little bit more of maybe ETN, maybe some more Tootin. How much Tootin do you said you had a lot pre-draft? Do you have much post-draft?
No, like you, I'm kind of avoiding all of that that mess. I just don't think there's any I just don't think it makes sense to bring those guys in. Everyone's saying like the common thread or talking point for the Jags is like, just take one of them on every roster and you'll be right somewhere. And it's like, yeah, but do we really care? Like, sure, Liam Cohen with the Tampa Bay Bucks, but realistically, that started with Dave Canales and with a defensive head coach in Tampa Bay. That's probably where that continued. Let's make these picks and then we'll talk about it. So if you want to click ADP,
just ADP, Dow, Noah, Jalen Noel, Chubb, Michael Wilson, Shipley, then Aaron Rodgers, who we mentioned, Hopkins, Mason Taylor, Justice Hill, Giddens. What are you thinking here?
I think Michael Wilson makes a lot of sense for what we're doing. Bring back with Atlanta, that helps.
Right. Okay, so Michael Wilson, I'll just leave that there.
I'm good at quarterback.
I would be the falling quarterback of either Rodgers or Daniel Jones.
I wouldn't.
Okay. I won't peer pressure you into it. So 19 seconds. Where do you want to go with the second pick? 2-4-7-2. Any of these running backs speak to you?
Probably a running back. Probably Giddens if we can get by with the bye weeks, which I think we can.
Yes, we got 14, 2-14, 12, 11, and so, or 12, 10, and then this will be 11. So I'll let that count down.
Perfect.
Then that gives us 2-5-7-2. So again, still optionality with our last two picks, which obviously will be at 204 and 205. So
what does our running back room look like? Let's kind of talk this through on what we want to.
I think that's smart. So we've got Chubba, Travion Henderson, Najee, Spears, Giddens. We do have our first two are week 14, but then there's no other bye week overlap. I think it probably would be 6, but what do you think?
I think we can get away with these 5. I really do. I really do. They're all like with Chuba being a high floor, Najee being a bit of a high floor, double digits roughly. Trevion's is our spike week explosive guy. Giddens is our injury upside, potential third down work. And then Tajay can do a little bit of everything. So I think we can get away with it if we want to. It's either wide receiver or a running back, and we can figure it out from there. I have a tight end in mind that I think makes sense for what we're doing, what we've built.
Okay.
As our third tight end.
Okay, so third tight end, and then it could just kind of be best available running back or receiver, kind of feeling it out, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think our wide receiver room is really dangerous, and it's in a really good spot with those top 2 picks.
Yeah, I was going to say, and we went in the first first 2 picks, obviously, but 3 in the first 4, and then 4 in the first 7, 5 in the first 8. So yeah, we did go 5 in the first 8, and then tacked on Palmer and Wilson. So I think we could stop at 7 if you did want to go with a 6 running back. But I think we could, like you said, take the tight end you're thinking, then go kind of maybe best available if some pick speaks to us.
I mean, it kind of comes down to if we want to put Elijah Moore on this team or not. because if you pull up the running back room, like what's there that's really gonna like get you going, like what's here in this running back range?
Well, I'll ask you this as a Cincy fan. It was Steve's favorite sleeper. Do you think Taj Brooks wins the number 2 job in Cincinnati?
I don't know, like famously
attached
the
to
Bengals,
like the top offense, like one of the best offenses in the league, who is your team. That is one that I've been clicking here. I've also been clicking some Rashad Smith. I think he might be gone. So yeah.
No, Brashard Smith is my highest owned player, period.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I'm very in on Brashard Smith. Don't get me wrong.
Where did Brashard Smith go in this one? He just went 189.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I mean, he usually falls into this, 17th. I thought it was more 17th, 18th, but
it is.
Yeah. So
okay.
I was like, did I misspeak there? Yeah. So I've been taking some Neal too, just with I don't believe in Kendre Miller. So I've taken some Neal. I take Justice Hill. I haven't really taken much Chubb, but I would say of the running backs left, it would probably be Taj Brooks. So yeah, so sorry, I cut you off. As a Bengals fan, do you think he has a chance to win the number 2 job?
Yeah, definitely. It's just like famously the Bengals don't play rookies very much unless it's Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Chase Brown didn't do much as a rookie. Or T Higgins, like he played as a rookie as well. If you're not like a top first or second round pick, like you're not really playing as rookie. So he could, but I'm not picking a lot of Taj Brooks at all. I just think all of these running, like Marshawn Lloyd, he's a guy that I do like in this range. Brashard Smith for sure, obviously, like I said. But beyond that, it's just a whole bunch of like, maybe injury stuff, or like Devin Neal, backup or third string running back on probably the worst team in the NFL. Like all of these situations just aren't good for me. It's Terrence Ferguson here for me.
Okay.
Pairs up with Atlanta. He's a rookie, with our two savvy vets. Bye weeks don't overlap. I think it's just kind of a match made in heaven right there.
Okay.
And then it's do we want Elijah Moore or not? That's kind of what it boils down to.
I personally don't feel like we need him especially since we got Palmer, but if you feel very convicted on it, I totally will.
You're going to have to sell me on a running back and you got 10 seconds to do it.
Okay. Well, let me pull up Elijah Moore then.
Maybe I'll just make you uncomfortable like Steve wants.
Yeah. Let's do that. So
I think we're fine with that running back room. I really do.
If we had more time, I would have tried to push harder for Taj Brooks to get a little Taj Brooks as that 6th running back. But I think that's fun. I don't have any Elijah Moore. So, that's why I love doing Friends of Best Ball is let's merge together our ideas to come up with a team, So I like it. So we end 2-5-8-3 at the back of the draft at the 12th spot. Josh Allen, Michael Penix. We double stacked both. And then we got Chuba Hubbard, Travion Henderson, and I can bring it back when this will obviously time out. Najee Harris, Tajay Spears, DJ Giddens, Drake London, Brian Thomas Jr., DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Josh Downs, Josh Palmer, Michael Wilson, Elijah Moore, Mark Andrews, Pat Freiermuth, and Terrence Ferguson. I like that Terrence Ferguson click. He and Elijah Arroyo are 2 tight ends that I'm starting, especially in these slow drafts, taking more of. I think just especially as that third like rookie with upside type deal. So yeah. And then we, again, get outside my comfort zone, stack up Josh Allen a little bit here. Hopefully he has a much better passing season. So yeah, I like how we ended. How are you feeling, Cody?
I like it. I think we're fine in that running back room. I mean, you got to be uncomfortable somewhere. Like ideally 19 rounds would be perfect in Best Ball Mania, but there's only 18. So we gotta be light, a little bit light somewhere. And for me, it's typically in the running back room, especially when we have these high floor guys. Like that's not where our like big weeks are coming from. Like we might get that from Chuba on occasion, 1 or 2, 25 point weeks, something like that. Henderson has that spike week upside. So like when I'm building a room like this, it's like, why am I adding another like contingent injury upside, possible potential guy that needs 3 injuries and the offensive line to be extremely healthy and the team to do this, that, and the other thing. Like there's just too many ifs and buts in that conversation with a lot of these running backs at the end that I just don't think it adds any value to the team. Whereas a guy like Elijah Moore, who pairs up with our quarterback, has that spike week potential. And realistically, like by the end of the summer, it's not out of the question that Elijah Moore like flips Josh Palmer, depending on what happens in training camp. So, yeah, I like it. Again, like it just for me doesn't make a lot of sense to take these running backs down here until we get some more confirmation, like maybe between Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford, maybe we get some clarity there. We want to take one of them, but beyond that, it's pretty tough to click those guys for me. I just don't think it adds anything to the team.
Let me add this. And now you have me more on Brashad Smith too. He's been one, talking about those later running backs. Who are you comfortable with? Taj Brooks has been one I've been doing. Brashad Smith has been one I've been doing. So it always feels good when you get a little confirmation with other sharp people. So let me label this and we can take a look at JT's team before we get out of here as well. Like to throw on the date so we can see. Steve and I, for some reason, in all of we had a really good advance rate in our Sibling Showdown drafts, and we did really good at the beginning of draft season and the very end of draft season, and we didn't do as well in the middle. So I think it's always interesting to look at the dates too. I did see I'm Your Huckleberry was in the draft. Missed that earlier. So good to see you in the chat here, in the stream, in the draft as well. We'll have to check out JT's team since we had a little cross stream. Our guy Candyman's in chat. I know Douglas and Steve were chatting in the chat as well. I apologize if I missed any of these good comments, but Cody and I were planning out this shipper that we were building. So Rogers versus Arthur Smith should be interesting.
That will be very interesting.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, it definitely will. It definitely will. He said, like in his press conference, I didn't realize that Arthur Smith came from the Shanahan tree. How he was comfortable with the Shanahan tree. I didn't realize that.
Neither did I.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that out as to where that was. But we got our guy Spread, DraftKings drafts on Tuesdays with Spread and Tyler. Check those out. I'm Your Huckleberry said you couldn't have let me have Wilson. I'm guessing he had a Kyler stack working there. Sorry about that. DeAndre Hopkins could be a later receiver that hits. He's someone I'm starting to take a little bit. Do you take much Hopkins, or is it just in Lamar builds? Or
no, not even in Lamar builds. Like for me, it's Zay and Bateman and Mark Andrews, and then everyone else. Like what's going to be left realistically, even for Hopkins? I think Hopkins is going to have way, way more real life value than fantasy value this year. Yeah. So maybe in like playoff best ball, I'll be in on some DeAndre Hopkins, but for regular season best ball, I haven't clicked them once personally, and I don't particularly think that changes. I just give me shots on some of these other guys. Like give me DJ Moore over DeAndre Hopkins. Pretty much no question.
Right. Ollie Gordon was a late round shout out by Thad. Cooler says, think Najee and Spears have enough standalone to cover the week 14. So a little disagreement in the chat. Putt Daddy says that with the 2 week 14 buys, he would have gone another one. So, that's why it's good to chat it through, we appreciate you, Fantasy Football Espanol. Week 17 upside. I got 40% Hopkins. I live in Baltimore. I live in Baltimore too. I keep talking to Chad Candles in chat, Baltimore, Jim Waller, who won, I believe, the Pitbull a couple years ago, Baltimore. There's definitely a lot of Baltimore best ball. Broody, who works for Fanspeak Network, host of Jeopardy, Baltimore. So we got to get a Baltimore best ball meetup going here, is basically what we're trying to say. Let's take a quick look at JT's team. I saw he got a late Burrow stack. So he got Burrow at 71 and Purdy. That's really nice.
Oh, value on Purdy too.
Yeah. Oh my God. 122. That's wild.
Nice value in the QB room.
So this cross stream was fun. Had to check out what JT and Sean cooked up here. Went Barkley, Mason, Jalen Warren, Garendo, Roshan, he tacked on Taj, which obviously correlates with Burrow. Had Higgins, so got the late stack, which is awesome. Cortland Sutton, Ridley, Pearsall, Shaheed, Alec Pierce. He got Keenan Allen, tacked on Dante Thornton, and then Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid. I like his team a lot. Any thoughts on JT and Sean's team?
Yeah, that's definitely a fun one. That's for sure. Did they get any Miami pieces over there?
Let's see. I don't think so.
No. Okay. Fun team though. That's definitely a lot of they got a lot of
value.
Wind sprints. They got a lot of wind sprints at the back end of their wide receiver room there, which isn't a bad thing. It's just Shaheed, Pierce, Dante Thornton, a bunch of guys just out there running straight and fast. So
straight and fast.
That can work.
Yeah, no, I like this team. I like this team a lot. Hartman, and then let's check out. That's right, Hartman was in chat with or in the draft with us. Let's take a quick peek there. I do not have 40% off against now. I've sprinkled them in some. So let's see. Hartman was at the 5 spot, 3583. Dak, Tua, Aaron Rodgers, James Conner, David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, Austin Eckler, Jarquez Hunter, Liam McConkey, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, Michael Pittman, Trey Harris, Adonai Mitchell, got my guy Roman Wilson, and George Kittle and Dallas Goedert. I like this team as well.
Our running back room is better than his though. So by a good margin.
Okay. I guess I like his first two a lot. But because I do love the double tapping like in that area, James Conner and David Montgomery. But then he the three other ones are more okay.
If I were him, I would not have brought in Roman Wilson, and I would have brought in another running back over there. I think our running back room is in much better shape than Hartman's in this case, but his wide receiver room is deadly. So
yeah, his wide receiver room is deadly. For sure. Yeah, no, I think all fun teams here, that's what makes it so fun, all drafting together. Oh yeah, we got Baltimore strong here. But no, Cody, this was a ton of fun. Tell the people what you got coming up on your channel, any other appearances, what you got going on here.
Yeah, in about an hour or so, I'll be joining JT Best Ball on his little Best Ball Mania-a-thon stream, 6-hour stream he's got going on. So I'm not sure who's on right now. It might be Who Hames. I'm not sure who's on right now. But I'll be on there in about an hour. So go check out JT Best Ball if you want to get more of my terrible takes. And then if you want to get even more of my terrible takes, go subscribe to Off the Schneid. I'm pretty much live every other day as long as I have time and like guest appearances and stuff like that. So all over the streets, we'll get something going probably tomorrow night live on the channel. And it's basically, like I said, every other day and pretty much zero super flex. So if you draft in super flex, you probably won't find it over there. Mind you, I might get bullied into it tomorrow night. We'll see.
I was going to say, you're drafting with PPR Tyler, right?
Yeah. And there's nothing else to draft is the big problem.
If you're drafting with PPR Tyler, you're going to be in the super flex streets. And Steve's
I'm
in the super flex streets. One time I got in Tyler's, Steve's in a lot of Tyler's drafts. So you might see Steve and I in there tomorrow night. You never know.
If there was anything else to draft, I would bully him into we're absolutely not drafting Superflex. But there's really nothing else on the go right now. So it is what it is. And you got to make the content when you can. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure you guys will have are you having a boozy stream tomorrow night, Saturday night?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
I like it.
We'll see. Most likely.
We'll have to jump in and check that out. But yeah, all of Cody's links, Twitter, his YouTube link are in the description. You should be following him already. If you're not, be sure to be following him. And then I can't have Cody on and then not mention Best Ball Jeopardy. Cody was our first winner. This is the bracket. Now we'll be reseeded by round one score for the quarterfinals. So Cody, Who Hames, Candyman, PPR Tyler, who we were just talking about, and Bindles are moving on next Wednesday. Justin Herzig is facing our Steve Schaup here on the Fanspeak Network at 9:30. And then the following Wednesday, Pete Overzet, Neil Warfield, the two guys streaming 150 BBMs head to head, July 2nd at 4 p.m. Then the two highest scoring losers. Then we reseed it for the quarterfinals and the Jeopardy continues. Cody, you and PBG, I felt bad. We're like our first guinea pigs of it all. How are you feeling now going into the quarterfinals? So you will be back on this channel at probably sometime, I'm guessing late June, early July, I'm guessing. Probably, late mid to late
Late
July.
July.
Sorry, mid to
Yeah.
late July. Sorry, what am I talking about?
I was talking about this on Wednesday after you guys had the Bindles and
the
Pat's
scoring in
stream.
that was wild. Yeah.
Well, it seems to be getting not necessarily getting easier. I just think like with more reps, like when me and BBG were on, it was like, I don't know who QB 24 is right now. Like I've done 20 drafts. Like I have no idea. And like bye weeks and who plays who and stuff like that. It was like we were kind of deer in headlights with just I don't know. I haven't gotten the reps in yet, sort of thing.
Exactly.
And you know, watching the last stream with Bindles and Pat, it was like, okay, I know that bye week, I know that matchup, I know that range of quarterback. So it's now with more reps. Like I think, literally at that time it was maybe like 20 or 30 drafts we were into the season, and now you know I'm at about 140. So it's a lot, you know, with reps, you get it figured out a lot better. So hopefully I'll do better. I mean, I don't want to run into Bindles. I'm going to have to like put in a serious like study session if I run into Bindles, because he was just bucking nicotine gum and friggin' studying ADPs for like 2 nights straight. So
he watched all the Jeopardy episodes and prep. I mean, that's like homework. That's amazing. I'm impressed with the prep. I really, but to your point, you and BBG were at the disadvantage being earlier, being the very first ones. And now, like you said, some of those questions, not that Bruni's questions are easier. It's just like, we know the stuff a little more, like you said.
100%,
but that'll make quarterfinals, semifinals, and of course finals a lot more interesting. But must watch next week with Steve and Justin Herzig. We had to throw a tough competition at Steve, and so we'll see how Herzig versus Steve goes. I appreciate that. I dress up for my guests on Friday, usually just throw on a Fanspeak shirt, you know, dress up on Fridays, and then apparently we have hit 600, so that's awesome. I believe it's 750 or 800. We're going to do something special, and then 1,000 we'll do a 24-hour live stream. So we appreciate you all. Again, make sure you're subbed to Cody's channel. Check out all his appearances on his channel and others. This has been a ton of fun, Cody. I look forward to tracking this team and hopefully many more streams with you this summer.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
All right. So for Cody, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.